that I've not met, I'm not a big collector. I leave that to the big guys like Arthur and Ken and Kevin. I'm really a collector of Houdini information, and I run a blog called Wild About Harry, where I just get into all kinds of Houdini minutia. So I thought I would just share with you guys real quickly something that I was going to put up on the blog, but I held back because I said, you know what, I'm going to share this because it's a neat piece of Houdini SAM history, which I don't think has ever been covered in any book. But to present it correctly, let me tell you kind of the story of it. There's a joke that you'll hear that's supposed to be from Houdini's day, and it goes something like this. What kind of magicians did Houdini like? And the answer is dead ones. And that goes to this idea that, first of all, Houdini loved to visit the graves of dead magicians and be photographed. But it's also, people will say, you know, Houdini hated magicians. He couldn't share the spotlight ever. And I've always thought, you know, that's a little unfair. Now, I don't love being put into the position of defending Houdini because he could be indefensible sometimes. But this idea that Houdini hated magicians just really isn't fair to him. He hated his imitators who were stealing his act, who in many cases weren't magicians. They were hacks hired to undermine him in a certain city. And he had his rivalries and feuds like all magicians. But, you know, he had close friendships with Howard Thurston and most of the major magicians of the time. But also, you know, if Houdini hated magicians, he would not have worked so hard to establish and build up the SAM into what it is today. I mean, he really was extremely proud of his involvement with the SAM, enough to have it on his grave. So he didn't hate magicians. As far as Houdini sharing the spotlight, well, I recently found something that even surprised me. It happened in Boston in 1926. Houdini was touring with his 3 shows in 1. And that was 3 acts. The first act was all magic. The second act was escapes. Third act was exposing fraudulent mediums. And in Boston, during this one performance, Houdini said, I'm going to give up the entire first act of my show to SAM magicians of Boston. They're going to come in and they're going to show you their best stuff. So not only could he share the spotlight, he's surrendering the spotlight. And this isn't the first time he did it. He did this also in Philadelphia. I'm not a collector, but I've always wanted this, and I didn't think I would ever get a chance again. And so I got one of the better posters inside of her wall since 1925. And I think maybe there's some other people on here that got some. So I'm thrilled to have this.